Vancouver.mediacoop.ca.
So I want to talk to everybody out there today who has made the time to come down on this beautiful day to celebrate Earth Day, and I wanted to speak to all of you about the value of action and how often we've heard so many things about the problems in the world today, and the Earth is facing huge challenges, and even though it's beautiful and celebratory here, there are things happening all over our province and the world that are damaging and destructive and hugely violent against all the things that we love. And we didn't choose for those things to happen, and we didn't even necessarily support the people who made those decisions. And so often all we end up doing is we write a letter, or we can hold up a sign, or we come to these events, but we don't have an opportunity to actually do a physical direct action to actually stop something and defend our Earth. And so today, in about an hour and a half from now, that is going to start happening in real time, totally accessible by bus from this place, and you all, everybody here, can participate in it and could actually support, witness, or participate in actions to stop the South Fraser Perimeter Highway from ripping up neighborhoods, schools, the river, Burns Bog, and all of the beautiful treasures that are in that area. And that's how...
Nice signs, dude.
Yep.
Want to say who you are? Maybe first name?
Yeah, my name is Rebecca, and I grew up in this area.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what it's going to take for people to understand that the health of our environment determines the health of us and our communities, and everything that the land gives us. It has to be a reciprocal relationship and one in balance. I just see such a wide gap between the people that understand that and the people that just continue to take for their own gains. I guess I'm contemplating how to bridge that gap and how to make people realize that if we don't live in balance, we don't live.
So these are the remnants of the clear cut?
I suppose there's some of them, yeah. I mean, you just look around you and I'd like to understand what they're thinking. I'd like to understand what people who live here, who do support this, I just can't understand where they're coming from. I can't.
So you're saying that the...
Yeah, that's, I live in Delta, and we've got it coming from us, from all sides. We've got the port expansion and the Gateway project, the South Fraser Perimeter Road, and we've also got the Tsawwassen First Nations who are going to be putting in mega malls, and we've got some of the best agricultural land in the world, best soil, and they're wanting to, there's a lot of pressure to build houses and to basically promote, the urban sprawl, rather than thinking wisely and working with what we've got, with what we're blessed with, and allowing that to serve us in the way that it was meant to, rather than destroying it and tearing it down. and it's really frustrating. You know, like I've been, I guess, just my anger has caused me to be so frustrated that I haven't taken much action or been a part of things. But it's finally time for me to step out and be a part of these things, because if we don't, it's just going to keep getting destroyed, basically. And I really appreciate the people that have been doing this for years and years, like 50 years. You know, people have been working to protect this area, and if they haven't been, who knows?
Like the agricultural land reserve.
Exactly. Yeah. Harold Steves, definitely. Yeah.
Start by introducing yourself.
Okay, I'm Harold Steves. What do you want?
Well, I guess your connection to this kind of struggle.
Oh, okay. Well, I chair agriculture for Metro Vancouver, but I've been involved in fighting to preserve agricultural land since 1959, when they came and took our farm. Not literally, but they rezoned the farm against my father's wishes, and I've been fighting to save farmland ever since.
So how does what we see here today connect to those struggles?
Basically, this is because of what happened in the 50s and 60s, we brought in the Agricultural Land Reserve to protect farmland, and the original act actually was designed to protect estuaries and habitat as well. That got amended out, but originally it was in the original Land Act. And from 1973 on, we have managed to protect the farmland fairly well. Now the floodgates are open. I call it the dike at Delta has been breached, and with the Vancouver Port Authority expansion onto farmland in Delta and the construction of the South Fraser Perimeter Road all the way to Barnston Island, and then across the river and the new Golden Ears Bridge, and all the way to Mission, tens of thousands of acres of farmland are now vulnerable. The Vancouver Port Authority has said they want to build industrial port activities on 2,600 acres of farmland. So if you take 2,600 acres of farmland for the port, 200 or 300 acres of farmland for highway construction, 100 acres or so for Delta Rail expansion, we're looking at around 3,000 acres of agricultural land being lost. This is the very best farmland in all of Canada, and it is one complete climatic zone warmer than any place else in Canada. And here we are at a time when we are concerned about world food production. We saw the government of Egypt fall because of the high cost of food. We saw riots in Tunisia. The government there fell because in Europe and Asia and every place else, and Mexico, they had food riots in 2008. And yet we're still looking at building highways and ports to import food from the countries where people are finding it difficult to get enough food for themselves. And I think the writing's on the wall, and highways like this will have limited use in the future. We need the land that the highway is built on more than we need the highway.
And just to finish, I was wondering if you could just explain what this reminds you of. You kind of alluded to it earlier.
It's interesting because in my own youth I was involved in supporting the protesters that set up camp along Georgia Street at the entrance to Stanley Park 30 or some years ago, I guess 35 years ago, more than that I guess, in protest against the twinning of the Lionsgate Bridge. There's supposed to be a second crossing at Lionsgate, and the protesters set up camp. I was one of the support team that helped bring them food and sustenance, but I didn't camp there myself. I had a job during the day. But eventually the governments involved came to their senses, and we didn't build a second crossing at Lionsgate.
So you had a victory.
We had a victory. And here we have a new generation doing exactly the same thing that the generation did at that time, and I wish them luck. I hope they can do the same thing here.
Thanks, Harold.